Paper 7, Literatures of India, Session number 55. Session title Women Identity in Patriarchal Society. A woman plays an important role in family and society. She is always ready to help her children and family as per the norms established by society. Women's identity is constructed by the society and they have to live under this and with this. Women are considered weak and limited to cooking, eating, and caring children, as well as her family in patriarchal society. Mahashweta Devi is one of the famous writers of India. She depicted many issues related to women and tribal society. In Mahashweta Devi's work, we can see these types of themes like suppressed women, exploited women, and we also get the glimpse of patriarchal society. The novel of Mother of 1084 was written by Mahashweta Devi in 1974. In this fiction, she depicted a bourgeois woman who lived in the male dominated family, as well as a lower class woman who is the mother of Sonu, a friend of Brati. He also died in Naxalbari movement. Identity of women. When the women identity is discussed in the context of Mahashweta Devi, her works, such as Mother of 1084, The Breast Giver, Bain, Sham Saveri Kima, etc., draw our attention. Women and their tolerance and struggle is always shown there. Mahashweta Devi's parents were also writers, and her mother was also a social activist. She spent many years to address the social issues related to the Indian people. Like her mother, Mahashweta Devi was also writing with social concern and raised her voice against discrimination of women and tribal people. And she addressed the oppressed section of society through her works. Let us now look into the portrayal of patriarchy in her novel. Mahashweta Devi portrayed the structure of the patriarchal system and how a woman struggles in male dominated society. Devi, throughout her life, wrote for the uplift of tribal people and women. She depicted unique patterns that represent women in her stories and novels. Women are born free, but in the patriarchal society, they were in chains. They are considered as wife, mother, sister, and were always looked as inferior human beings. Women are not safe and free as men, and they have to believe in the male dominated society. From the ancient times, men occupied superior status and women are considered less than a man, and their primary duty is to bear children and take care of the family. They need to live according to their husband's choice. She tells, I have tried in this novel to explore the identity of women. In the novel Mother of 1084, she explores the theme of women's suffering. The novel reveals the glimpse of the social structure of the patriarchal system. This novel portrays the upper middle class woman Sujata, whose world changed forever when she lost her son Brati. In 1971 Naxalite movement, Devi was readily connected with the social movements and gave assistance to the needy people, including tribal and untouchables. In this novel, she depicts the problems of the suppressed women in the society. as well as explores several mental and physical torments. This fiction focuses on a woman, Sujata, who awakens one morning and heard a painful and shattering information that her son Brati is found dead in the Naxalite movement, and the police were inquiring about a dead body of a Naxalite and her son's identity reduced to a numeral dead body number 1084. Sujata could not understand how her son became a Naxalite. Her son Brati's death brought her closer to her son, and mother-son's strong relation became even stronger. Throughout the whole novel, Sujata Chatterjee is trying to understand her son's Brati's death, who she loves the most. This journey leads Sujata to self-discovery, and she also feels for the cause of Brati's revolt. Let us now look at Sujata in Calcutta. This novel moves around the main character Sujata lived in Calcutta. She belonged to a rich family. She was born in an affluent and conservative family. She was suggested that she complete her bachelor degree so that it could help her marriage. Sujata was married to Dibyanath Chatterjee, who was a chartered accountant. Sujata gave birth to two sons and two daughters in her 34 years of her married life. Brati was closer to her among all her children, as well as with whom she shared a special relationship. One morning, Sujata heard the news of her son Brati's death, and police were inquiring about a dead body of Naxalite with the dead body number 1084. Her son's mysterious death made Sujata shocked. Police called up Dibyanath Chatterjee to ask him to identify the dead body, but Dibyanath, the father of Brati, refused to go there. He also stopped his other family members from doing so. But Brati's mother, Sujata, decided to go there, throwing all the false social constructions which were made by the patriarchal system. Here in this novel, Dibyanath Chatterjee, father of Brati, represents the male dominated society. Dibyanath neglected his wife Sujata's motherly love, and even he tried to hide the matter of his son's death and warned Sujata to close the matter about Brati's death and stop talking about Brati. He only focused on his reputation in society. Devyanath had no interest in Sujata's physical condition after she gave birth to her first child, and he would not play the role of a father. Sujata knew about her husband Devyanath's extramarital affair, but she could not raise her voice. Sujata lived in a patriarchal society where women is considered a sex object and as an object for reproduction. Women are not expected to express their own concerns. Even Sujata could not express her grief and love for her son Brati after the death of his son in Naxalite movement. She had to hide her grief in front of her husband Divyanath, who only thought about his reputation in the society. Throughout the, throughout the novel, the writer portrayed the suffering of Sujata under her husband Divyanath's dominant character. In the novel, the author portrayed the woman who suffered throughout her life for her children's happiness, but on the other hand, her husband Divyanath never cared about her feelings. He considered himself superior in her house and did not give importance to others' feelings. His superiority impacted his children, and they were nurtured and influenced by their father's qualities. But Divyanath's wife Sujata could not change her children's way of life and her husband's superiority domination over her. She also thought that everything must be done only after her husband Divyanath's approval, and nothing should go without her husband notice. Sujata had only her physical presence in her family, as the family was ruled by the two people, Divyanath and Divyanath's mother. Sujata could not say the one word against her torments and oppressions. Even Sujata was doing a job in bank, not for the sake of her freedom, but at the time her husband was facing some financial problem. Divyanath had extramarital affairs with a girl who was working as a typist in his office. Sujata never raised her voice against him because she was simply a victim of patriarchal society. Sujata endured all shame and suffering with fortitude. This novel brings to light Sujata's self determination as she struggles for justice and freedom for her individual identity in male dominated system. After the death of her son Brati, Sujata realized that she had never known a part of her son's life that Nandini was her son's girlfriend. Before his death, Sujata thought that her son Brati shared everything with her. In this fiction, the author portrayed women as object of pleasure. The main character of this novel, Sujata, is shown as a victim in the male-dominated society. This novel also shows the victim trying to find out her individual identity. In the novel Mahashweta Devi, we find several examples of patriarchal society as well as dominating male characters such as Divyanath. In this novel, Sujata was always under the control of her husband and she had to live accordingly. She suppressed her own voice and had to adjust to the domination of men. Mahashweta Devi explored the exploitation and harassment of women. In this fiction, Devi portrayed Devyanath's extramarital affairs in his office with a typist, and this showed that Sujata was the victim of male-dominated society and patriarchal system. Thus, in the novel, Devi depicted women as the object of pleasure for men who dominate them and brings essential for the welfare of children and family. After the death of her son Brati, Sujata realized and recognized the torment imposed on her by her husband, but she suffered accepting this torment and domination within herself. She could not erase away these memories of torment, but she saliently bore all these with patience. In this novel, Sujata tried to understand her son Brati's mysterious death, and in this journey, she realized her individual identity in the male dominated society. Thank you.